Hi, I'm Kevin Kennedy, and I'm back sharing with you a little bit about my published book, Divorce Through the Eyes of a Christian Lawyer. You know, this book hit a note when it came out, and it was so fascinating. So many people came to me wanting, and you know what? They weren't really wanting to buy my book. They just wanted to get the information. Wow. And so I set on a course wanting to share this information because it can benefit your child, your grandchild, and for generations. You know, in my book, we address some of the grounds for divorce. This is an interesting book because it talks about reality, it talks about facts, it talks about the statutes. You know, the law is really, what is the theory of the law? The theory is it wants to try to hold marriages together. What about the facts? The facts are most marriages struggle at some point with the thought of divorce. One of my great business associates, he said, Kevin, never say the D word, never say the B word. I said, what are you talking about? He said, never say divorce or bankruptcy. I said, why? And he had been through both. He said, because it draws you to it. So one of the things I like for people to do is investigate, learn. There is power in knowledge. And that's why I wrote the book to kind of share. You know, in Tennessee, we have what's known as the irreconcilable differences. It talks about the no-fault divorce, and that's where both parties can come together and they lay out their property division in a marital dissolution agreement. And you know, some people say, well, I want everything. That's not realistic. You know, basically, they want to divide what was gathered in the marriage. Basically, if you brought in things through inherited property, they want you to have that. And really, the courts and the law are written in a way that both parents have input in the raising of the child. Now, would I say absolutely get a lawyer? Absolutely get a lawyer. There's a lot of things that are always beneficial to you. You've heard me probably say over my course of dealings, loose lips sink ships. I think a person should think a lot before they start talking. And, you know, I heard a person once say, he said, Kevin, I said things that I wish I had never said. Touche. I saw the agony in his eyes. I felt the agony in his life. And I've had others come and say, you know, we just couldn't communicate. You know, am I big on marriage enrichment seminars? Absolutely. Am I big on insurance? I don't sell insurance, but I'm big on it. And I would encourage you to try to provide for your family. And, you know, the people who understand more, you have to constantly. And then, of course, we do see times when people develop a mental problem. They are not the same person at 18 that they are at 55. And what do? You know, these grounds for divorce, you can come in with what's known as inappropriate marital conduct. There's a lot of that can be interpreted. There's when adultery comes in. And, you know, adultery, many families have experienced that. Many families have forgiven, and you need to take a long look and understand what are you really faced with when you're faced with divorce. It's not just a word, it's not just a phrase, it's not just a piece of paper. It really is a total way of life. One of my chapters I love in here is the benefits of a long marriage. You know, one of my great friends, he was brilliant, and he shared with me, he said, the worst thing about being divorced, you cannot really talk to your ex-spouse about things about your children and grandchildren. Many times, a root of bitterness. One of my pastors said, never let a root of bitterness enter in, because you know who it hurts the most? It hurts you. And guess what? If you really want to be a part of a litigation society, you just go in there and just keep litigating. One of the great philosophers said, a lean compromise is better than a fat lawsuit. So, you know, today we have mandatory mediation. Why do they have that? Because it is so expensive and it takes such a drain on a child. Now, I've been in many, many divorces. I've been on the winning side of lots and lots of big divorces. And what did I learn from that? You're always going to be happier if you can settle because you know what you're getting. Well, I'm Kevin Kennedy, and I'm glad to share this book with you, Divorce Through the Eyes of a Christian Lawyer.